The screen door slammed behind me like a gunshot in the sticky July heat. And there he was, Joshua, all lean muscle and easy grin, peeling off his soaked t-shirt after cannonballing into the backyard pool. Water droplets raced down his chest, catching the late afternoon sun like they were in on some dirty secret. And those damn tight shorts clung to his thighs like they'd been painted on, leaving nothing to the goddamn imagination. My heart jackhammered so hard I swear the neighbors could have heard it over the cicadas, and I froze on the porch steps, beer bottle sweating in my hand, realizing in that split second that my summer was about to go up in flames. I'd known Joshua for years, ever since he and my brother Ethan started crashing at our place in suburban Ohio after their freshman year at Ohio State. Ethan was the golden boy varsity quarterback, all-American charm, the kind of guy who could charm a nun out of her habit. Me? Samuel. Sammy to most folks. The quiet one with the sketchbook and the part-time gig at the comic shop downtown, hiding behind thick-rimmed glasses and hoodies that swallowed me whole. At 20, I was still figuring out how to exist without feeling like an afterthought in my own family. But Joshua? He was the wildfire to Ethan's steady campfire. 6'2" of effortless cool, with that surfer blonde hair that fell just right and eyes like the ocean on a stormy day. Gray-green and pulling you under before you even knew you were swimming. That afternoon, the air hummed with the low buzz of a 4th of July barbecue winding down. Dad was manning the grill, flipping burgers with the precision of a retired auto mechanic. Mom fussing over the potato salad like it was her Oscar moment. Ethan's crew had taken over the pool, splashing and hollering like they owned the world. I hung back, nursing my drink, sketching the chaos from the shade of the old oak tree. Portraits were my escape, quick lines capturing the curve of a jaw, the flick of a wrist. But when Joshua climbed out of the water, shaking off like a golden retriever, my pencil snapped in half against the page. "Yo, Sammy, get your ass in here," Ethan bellowed from the deep end, his voice cutting through the laughter. He was treading water, arms slung around some sorority girl who'd tagged along, her bikini top barely containing the chaos. Joshua laughed, low and throaty, wringing out his hair as he padded toward the diving board. Those shorts, navy blue, athletic cut, the kind that rode up just enough to tease the tan line of his hip, hugged every inch like a second skin. Couldn't look away. Didn't want to. It was like my brain short-circuited, replaying the image in slow motion. The flex of his quads, the dimple in his lower back, the way the fabric stretched taut over his ass as he bent to grab a towel. I mumbled something about the heat and bolted inside, the cool blast of AC hitting me like a slap. Leaning against the kitchen counter, I chugged the rest of my beer, trying to drown the heat pooling low in my gut. This wasn't new exactly. I'd known I was gay since I was 15, fumbling through crushes on the swim team captain and that brooding artist kid in art class. But Joshua? He was Ethan's best friend. Untouchable. The guy who high-fived me like a little brother, ruffled my hair after a bad day at the shop, shared late-night smokes on the roof talking about everything from indie bands to the meaning of life. He was straight, or at least that's what the parade of girls on his arm suggested. Cheerleaders, baristas, that one tattoo artist with the septum piercing. Yet here I was, hard as a rock in my board shorts, cursing the universe for wiring me this way. Dinner dragged on under the string lights, plates piled high with ribs and corn on the cob. Joshua sat across from me, still in those shorts, now paired with a faded Buckeyes tee that did nothing to hide the V of his hips. He caught me staring once, twice, flashed that crooked smile that made my stomach flip. "Pass the hot sauce, Sammy? You're zoning out over there." His foot brushed mine under the table. Accidental maybe, but it sent a jolt straight to my core. I nodded, shoving the bottle his way, my fingers grazing his. Rough calluses from his summer job at the garage, warm and alive. Ethan launched into some story about hazing week, everyone roaring. But I was lost in the way Joshua licked sauce off his thumb, slow and deliberate, like he knew exactly what he was doing to me. Night fell heavy, the party thinning out as folks stumbled home or crashed on air mattresses in the basement. I retreated to my room upstairs, the one with the slanted ceiling and posters of Banksy peeling at the edges. Stripping down to boxers, I flopped onto the bed, the fan whirring lazy circles overhead. Sleep wouldn't come. My mind was a loop, Joshua's laugh echoing off the pool tiles, the drip of water down his spine, those shorts like a siren's call. I rolled over, punching the pillow, whispering curses into the dark. Get a grip, Sam. He's not for you. But then a soft knock. The door creaked open, and there he was, Joshua, silhouetted in the hallway light, towel slung low on his hips, hair damp from a late swim. Hey man, couldn't sleep. Mind if I crash here? Ethan's snoring like a chainsaw down there. His voice was casual, but his eyes lingered, tracing the lines of my bare chest in the moonlight. I swallowed hard, scooting over on the twin bed that suddenly felt way too small. Sure. Yeah. Whatever. He dropped the towel, holy shit, and slid under the sheets in nothing but briefs, the mattress dipping under his weight. Our legs tangled accidentally, his calf brushing mine, warm and solid. The room smelled like chlorine and his cologne, something woodsy and clean that made my head spin. We lay there in silence, the only sound our breathing syncing up, in and out until I couldn't take it anymore. You ever feel like you're drowning in plain sight? I blurted, staring at the ceiling fan's blur. He shifted, propping on an elbow, close enough I could feel his breath on my shoulder. All the time, Sammy. Like the world's got you scripted, but you're ad-libbing the whole damn thing. His hand landed on my arm, thumb tracing a lazy circle. Comfort, or something more? My pulse thundered. What's eating you tonight? I turned, our faces inches apart. His lips parted just so. The air crackled. You? I whispered, before I could stop myself. His eyes widened, then softened, and for a heartbeat, I hoped he'd close the gap. But he pulled back, chuckling softly, like it was a joke. Flatterer. Get some shut-eye, kid. He rolled away, leaving me aching, the ghost of his touch burning through the night. By morning, the house stirred with the clatter of breakfast, pancakes and bacon, Ethan's booming voice planning a road trip to the lake. Joshua was all business, pouring coffee, slapping my back with a morning sunshine that felt too brotherly, too safe. But as we piled into Ethan's beat-up Jeep, windows down, wind whipping through, his knee pressed against mine in the back seat. Accidental? I didn't care. The obsession had rooted deep, a vine twisting through my ribs, and I knew there was no pruning it back now. We hit the lake by noon, a sprawl of blue water ringed by pines and dotted with pontoons. Ethan fired up the cooler, cracking beers and blasting Springsteen from a portable speaker. Joshua stripped down to those shorts again. God help me, and dove in, surfacing with a whoop that echoed across the water. I watched from the dock, sketchpad forgotten, my world narrowing to the arc of his body slicing through waves. Ethan splashed me, laughing, oblivious. Loosen up, bro. Live a little. If only he knew. Joshua swam over, water streaming from his lashes, and treaded beside the ladder. Coming in, Sammy? Water's perfect. His grin was pure mischief, and something in his gaze, playful, probing, made my resolve crumble. I kicked off my sandals, peeled my shirt, and jumped. The cold shocked the heat from my skin, but not the fire in my veins. We played chicken fights, Joshua hoisting me on his shoulders against Ethan and his date, our bodies slick and straining, laughter bubbling up like champagne. His hands gripped my thighs, fingers digging in just enough to bruise, and when we toppled, splashing down in a tangle of limbs, his arm wrapped around my waist underwater, pulling me close for a beat too long. Surfacing, gasping, our eyes locked, the world blurred, the cheers from the boat, the slap of waves. Just us, suspended in that crystalline moment. You're stronger than you look, he murmured, voice low under the noise. You have no idea. I shot back, heart slamming. He smirked, released me, but the current between us hummed on, electric and undeniable. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in bruised purples, we built a bonfire on the shore. Ethan strummed his guitar, folksy tunes about lost highways and broken hearts, while Joshua and I shared a blanket, shoulders brushing. He passed me a joint, our fingers lingering, and when the smoke curled between us, he leaned in. Tell me something real, Sam. No bullshit. I exhaled slow, the high loosening my tongue. I feel invisible sometimes, like I'm the shadow in the room, not the light. The words hung heavy, vulnerable. His hand found mine under the blanket, squeezing. You're not invisible to me. Warmth flooded me, dangerous and sweet. Ethan's chord struck a minor key, and Joshua's thumb stroked my knuckle, a promise unspoken. That night, back in the Jeep, his head lolled on my shoulder, asleep, breath warm on my neck. I didn't move, didn't breathe, savoring the weight of him. The obsession wasn't just thoughts anymore. It was alive, breathing, demanding to be fed. Weeks blurred into a haze of stolen moments, each one fanning the spark into something wild and consuming. Ohio summer clung like humidity, but Joshua was the real heat wave, crashing our house more nights than not, claiming the couch or my floor, his presence a constant pull. Ethan didn't bat an eye. They were thick as thieves, plotting tailgates and bar crawls, while I orbited like a moth, drawn to the glow. I'd catch glimpses. Him shirtless in the kitchen at dawn, brewing coffee with that lazy stretch, or sprawled on the living room rug, controller in hand for late-night Mario Kart marathons, trash-talking me with a wink that lingered too long. Those tight shorts became my personal torment, appearing like clockwork on pool days or lazy afternoons, as if he knew the power they held. One sticky August evening, Ethan dragged us to a dive bar on the edge of town. The rusty Anchor, all neon signs and peanut shells crunching underfoot. It was divey Americana at its finest. Springsteen on the jukebox, locals nursing drafts, the faint tang of fryer grease hanging in the air. Ethan was in his element, charming shots from the bartender. A grizzled vet named Hank who called him son, like he'd hung the moon. Joshua and I claimed a corner booth, the vinyl sticky against our skin, a pitcher of cheap beer sweating between us. To surviving another semester, Joshua toasted, clinking his mug to mine. His knee nudged mine under the table, staying put this time, no accident. Heat bloomed where we touched, steady and insistent. Or barely, I quipped, sipping deep. The buzz loosened the knot in my chest, words flowing easier. We talked for hours about his shitty garage job, the boss who rode him like a rented mule. My sketches, how I dreamed of illustrating graphic novels since I was a kid doodling superheroes in the margins of math class. He leaned in close, elbows on the table, chin propped on his fist, listening like I was the only voice in the room. Show me sometime, he said, eyes locking on mine. I bet they're killer. Ethan stumbled over eventually, flushed and grinning, a girl on each arm. You two lovebirds done brooding? Karaoke's up. He belted out Sweet Caroline. Off-key and joyous, the bar erupting in cheers. Joshua dragged me up for a duet. Wonderwall, because of course. His voice gravelly and warm against my ear as we swayed. Mike's forgotten in the chorus. His hand on my lower back, guiding, possessive. When the song faded, applause thundering, he didn't let go right away. Not bad, Sammy, he murmured, breath hot on my neck. We make a good team. Back at the booth, Ethan passed out cold, head on the table amid a puddle of spilled beer. Joshua and I split the bill, his arm slung casual over my shoulders as we hauled Ethan to the Jeep. The night air was thick, fireflies winking like conspirators. Crash at mine, I asked, voice steady despite the storm inside. Ethan mumbled something incoherent, already snoring. Joshua's grin flashed in the dashboard glow. Lead the way. My room felt smaller with him in it, the air charged like before a thunderstorm. He kicked off his boots, peeled his shirt. God, that torso, etched with faint scars from a dirt bike wipeout last spring, and flopped onto my bed, patting the space beside him. Come here. Talk to me. I hesitated, then joined him, our bodies aligning like puzzle pieces. The conversation meandered, dreams of escaping Ohio for the coasts, him to LA for screenwriting gigs, me to New York for art scenes that didn't smell like cornfields. His fingers traced idle patterns on my arm, sending shivers despite the heat. You ever kiss a guy? He asked out of nowhere, voice low, testing. My breath caught. Once. High school. It was awkward. I- It had been a fumbling disaster in the locker room, all nerves and no spark. Nothing like this tension coiling between us. He hummed, shifting closer, his thigh pressing solid against mine. Bet I could make it less awkward. His eyes searched mine, dark with intent, and my world tilted. Heart pounding, I nodded, barely a movement, and he closed the distance. Soft at first, exploratory. His lips warm and tasting of hops and salt. Then deeper, hungrier, his hand cupping my jaw, thumb brushing my cheekbone. I melted into it, fingers threading his hair, pulling him closer. Fireworks behind my eyelids. Better than any sketch, any fantasy. He groaned low, shifting to hover over me, knee slotting between my legs, the friction electric. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. Fuck, Sam, he whispered, voice wrecked. I've been thinking about this. You, too damn long. Me too, I admitted, tracing his lip with my thumb. Since that first pool day. Those shorts, Jesus. He laughed, breathy, nipping my finger. Noted, weapon of choice. We kissed again, slower, mapping each other. His stubble scraping my chin, my nails raking his back. Clothes shed in a tangle, skin on skin, urgent but reverent. He was gentle, attentive, whispering praises that made me arch and beg. When he entered me, slow and sure, it was like coming home. Pain blooming into pleasure. Our rhythms sinking like we'd rehearsed it a lifetime. Afterward, tangled in sheets, his head on my chest, I traced the freckles across his shoulders, believing, for the first time, in something real. But dawn brought reality crashing in. Ethan pounded on the door. Rise and shine, assholes. And Joshua bolted upright, scrambling for pants, that easy grin back in place like armor. Last night was. He trailed off, pecking my temple. Epic, but Ethan's clueless. We gotta be smart. Smart. The words soured in my mouth, but I nodded, shoving down the ache. Secret it was. We joined Ethan downstairs, pancakes sizzling, him none the wiser, slapping Joshua's back with a rough night. Bro, you look wrecked. Joshua shot me a covert wink over coffee, and I forced a laugh, the thrill of our hidden world buzzing under my skin. The secrecy amped everything. Texts at odd hours, coded emojis. Quick makeouts in the garage when Ethan ran for smokes. His hand on my thigh during movie nights, thumbs circling like a brand. We carved out pockets of us. Midnight drives to the quarry, skinny dipping under a harvest moon. His body gleaming silver in the water. Lazy Sundays sketching him asleep, capturing the vulnerability he hid from the world. He opened up then, about his folks' divorce, the pressure to be the man of the house. How he'd questioned his own straight-laced script after a drunken fumble with a frat brother freshman year. It's not labels for me, he'd say, pulling me close. It's you. I fell hard, rewriting my sketches with his face in every hero, every shadow. Ethan noticed my glow, ribbing me about a mystery girl, and I played along, guilt twisting like a knife. But Joshua made it worth it. His laugh in my ear, his body arching under mine, the way he'd murmur mine in the dark, possessive and raw. Then came the first crack. Labor Day weekend, a blowout party at Ethan's buddy's farm, bonfires, kegs, a sea of tailgate red. Joshua stuck close, but the crowd pulled him away, girls draping on him like kudzu. I nursed a solo cup by the fire, watching him charm them, that smile a weapon. Jealousy gnawed, hot and ugly. When he finally broke free, sliding beside me with a beer, I couldn't hold it. Having fun. He frowned, reading me. What's up, Sam? Talk. You're flirting. Hard. The words spat out sharper than intended. His jaw tightened. It's nothing. Keeps up appearances. He cupped my neck, thumb stroking. You know that. I pulled back. Do I? Or am I just the side hustle? Hurt laced my voice, vulnerable and pissed. He sighed, glancing at Ethan across the fire, laughing with a cluster. Not fair. This is hard for me too. Tension crackled, unresolved. We didn't speak the rest of the night, the distance a chasm. By morning, hungover and hollow, he cornered me in the barn loft. I'm sorry. I hate this hiding shit. His kiss was apology, fierce and forgiving. Hands roaming until we were lost again. Hay scratching our backs. But the seed of doubt took root. How long could we dance on this knife's edge before someone bled? Fall crept in, leaves turning crimson, classes resuming. Joshua and Ethan dove into frat life, while I buried in art electives, my portfolio blooming with covert portraits of him. Eyes smoldering, lips parted in ecstasy. We'd steal weekends. A cabin up in Hocking Hills, rented under a fake name, where we'd fuck like the world was ending, then hike trails hand in hidden hand, talking futures. After graduation, he'd promise, nuzzling my neck by the fire, we'll go public. Road trip to Cali, just us. I clung to that, ignoring the growing whispers. Ethan's offhand, Josh seems distracted. The way Joshua's phone buzzed late with texts he silenced quick, until one rainy October night, when everything shattered. Rain lashed the windows like accusations, thunder rumbling low over Columbus as I paced my dorm room. Phone clutched like a lifeline. Joshua was late. 2 hours past our usual meetup at the coffee shop off High Street. The one with the exposed brick and overpriced lattes where we'd pretend to study, fingers brushing under tables. My text sat unread. Where are you? Everything okay? The storm mirrored the one brewing in my gut. Doubt swelling like the Ohio River after a flood. Finally, a buzz. Stuck at the house. Ethan drama. Call you soon. Relief mixed with irritation. Ethan again, always the anchor dragging us down. I fired back a thumbs up, flopping onto my unmade bed. The room a mess of sketch pads and empty ramen cups. Campus life was a grind. Lectures on chiaroscuro and color theory. Shifts at the comic shop where I'd zone out, doodling Joshua's jawline on order slips. But he made it bearable. Our secret rhythm, the thrill of stolen glances in crowded lecture halls. His foot hooked around my ankle during group hangs. An hour ticked by, then my phone lit up. Not Joshua, but Ethan. Hey bro, party at the Sig House tonight? Josh is hyped. You in? My stomach dropped. Hyped? I dialed Joshua, voicemail. Tried again. Nothing. The rain hammered harder, mirroring my rising panic. Fuck it. I grabbed my keys, hoodie up against the deluge, and peeled out toward Greek Row. The Sigma Chi house loomed like a frat boy's fever dream. Greek letters glowing neon, bass thumping from open windows, bodies spilling onto the porch slick with rain. I wove through the crowd, the stench of cheap cologne and spilled natty light hitting me like a wave. Ethan spotted me first, lumbering over with a red cup, his Buckeyes jersey soaked. Sammy, knew you'd show. Shots. His grin was sloppy, eyes glassy, already 3 beers deep. Where's Joshua? I shouted over the din, scanning the chaos. He jerked a thumb toward the backyard. Pong tournament. Dudes on fire. I nodded, forcing nonchalance, and pushed through the sliding doors. The patio was a mud pit, beer pong tables lit by string lights, cheers erupting as pledges chugged. And there, Joshua mid-toss, arm flexing, that cocky laugh booming. Beside him, a girl, brunette, all legs and low-cut top, cheering like he hung the moon, her hand on his bicep, lingering. Jealousy hit like lightning, but I shoved it down, weaving closer. He nailed the shot, cup sinking, and the crowd hooped. Turning, his eyes met mine. Surprise, then warmth, but shadowed. Sam, you made it. He clapped my shoulder, pulling me into a bro hug that pressed us chest to chest for a beat too long. The girl eyed me, pouty lips curving. This your little bro? Cute. Ethan bellowed from the porch, and Joshua's hand squeezed my arm. Later, before he turned back to the game, I retreated inside, the walls closing in, doubt festering, hours blurred. I nursed a beer, dodged small talk, watched Joshua work the room. Charming, magnetic, the straight guy facade flawless. Until 1 a.m., when I slipped upstairs to the bathroom, splashing water on my face, staring at my reflection. Hollow cheeks, dark circles. What are we doing? A stall door banged open behind me. Joshua, swaying slightly, eyes red-rimmed. There you are. He locked the door, crowding close, hands on my hips. Missed you, liar. I hissed, but melted as he kissed me, desperate, tasting of whiskey and regret. Against the sink, clothes hiked, quick and frantic. His hand in my jeans, mine fisting his hair, moans muffled against his neck. Release came hard, shuddering, but as we caught our breath, reality seeped in. Why'd you blow me off? He sighed, zipping up. Ethan, freaked out about midterms, needed to vent. Then the party snowballed. His fingers laced mine, thumb stroking. I'm sorry, won't happen again. I wanted to believe him, leaned into the kiss he pressed to my forehead. But as we snuck downstairs separately, Ethan's laugh cutting through the haze, unease lingered like smoke. The next week cracked open the fault lines. Joshua pulled back. Texts sparse, excuses piling. Practice ran late. Family stuff. Our coffee dates vanished, replaced by group hangs where he'd sit across the table, eyes avoiding mine, knee not touching. I cornered him after class one crisp afternoon, leaves crunching underfoot on the oval, the heart of campus alive with frisbee games and street preachers. What's going on? I demanded, voice low, backpack slung heavy. He raked a hand through his hair, glancing around. Nothing, just busy. Bullshit. Hurt sharpened my words. Talk to me. He exhaled, shoulders slumping. Ethan knows. About us. The world tilted. What? How? Found a sketch. One of me. In your bag last weekend. His voice cracked. Confronted me after the party. Said if I didn't end it, he'd. Fuck Sam, he'd tell everyone. Make it hell. Rage boiled, hot and helpless. And you believed him? Just like that. He's my best friend. My brother, basically. Joshua's eyes pleaded. I can't lose him. Not over this. This? Us? My voice broke. So what we done? He reached for me, but I stepped back. No. God, no. Just pause. Till I figure it out. Tears stung, but I blinked them back. Please, Sam. I love. Don't. The word slashed. Final. I turned, storming off, the autumn wind whipping like judgment. Days bled into numbness. I skipped the shop, holed up sketching dark, jagged lines of fractured hearts. Joshua's face twisted in shadow. Ethan texted, You okay? Miss you at the game. I ignored it, the betrayal a double gut punch. Brother and lover, colluding to bury me. Then the gutting blow. Late night scroll through Instagram, Ethan's story popping up. A selfie, arm around Joshua at a dive bar. Caption brothers for life. No drama. Joshua's smile forced, but there. Below, comments. Missed you two together. Heart emojis from girls, oblivious. I hurled my phone, screen cracking against the wall. Rock bottom hit Friday. Rain-slick streets leading me to the rusty anchor. Hank poured without asking. A double neat, and I drowned in it. Memories of that first night, Joshua's knee against mine, the promise in his eyes. 2 drinks in, Ethan burst through the door, spotting me in the corner. Sammy? What the hell? Go away. I slurred, but he slid onto the stool, concern etching his face. All-American worry. Talk to me. You've been ghosting everyone. Laughter bubbled, bitter. Everyone? Or just you and your lapdog? His brow furrowed. What? Joshua, you threatened him. To protect your precious bromance. The words tumbled, venomous. How could you? I'm your brother. Ethan paled, jaw slack. Shit. Sam. It's not. He grabbed my arm as I stood, swaying. I did it for you. Thought he was using you. Messing around. Using me? Fury ignited. You don't know shit about us. The bar spun, Hank calling last call. Ethan half carried me out, into the downpour, his truck idling curbside. Get in. We'll talk. We drove in silence, wipers slapping rhythm, until my dorm loomed. I love him, Ethan. And you ruined it. He killed the engine, rain drumming the roof. I saw the way he looked at you, panicked, thought it was a phase for him, not real. Regret thickened his voice. I'm sorry. Fuck, Sammy. I just wanted to protect the family. Family? I barked a laugh. From what? Happiness. He rubbed his face. Give me a sec with him. I'll fix it. But fixes weren't promises, and as I stumbled inside, phone buzzing, Joshua, Ethan told me. I'm coming over. Hope flickered, fragile as a match. He arrived soaked, bursting into my room like a force of nature, pulling me into a crushing hug. I'm so sorry. Panicked. But I meant it. I love you. The words, finally voiced, shattered me. We collided then, clothes shedding in a frenzy, bodies slick with rain and desperation. He took his time, worshipful, kisses trailing my collarbone, hands mapping scars I didn't know I had. Never again, he vowed, buried deep, our gasps mingling. You're it for me. We woke tangled, sunlight slanting through blinds, his fingers tracing my spine. Talked to Ethan. He's cool, swore to back off. Even said he's proud. Joshua's grin was sheepish. Took a punch to the arm for good measure. Relief washed over me, sweet and tentative. We went public that weekend. Hand in hand at the Buckeyes game. Ethan's nod from the stands a quiet blessing. Friends raised brows, but cheers drowned doubts. Joshua's arm around me felt like armor. His kiss at halftime bold and unapologetic. Life bloomed. Study dates turning steamy. His head in my lap during finals cram. My sketches now signed for Jay with hearts. But shadows lingered. Whispers in the halls. Wait, Sammy's gay. With Josh. And Joshua's flinches when stares lingered. One night, post-party, he confessed over takeout. Sometimes I wonder if I'm enough. If this is me. Vulnerability cracked his voice, and I held him through it, whispering truths till dawn. Winter blanketed campus in snow, our love a hearth. Cuddles by radiator heat, snowball fights ending in tackles and frost-kissed kisses. Graduation loomed, promises of Cali solidifying. Until spring break, when betrayal bloomed like black mold. Spring break hit Columbus like a fever dream. Cherry blossoms rioting pink against gray skies. Frat row pulsing with pre-grad bacchanalia. Joshua and I escaped to a rented cabin in the Smokies, Tennessee border. A wood-shingled haven with a stone fireplace and a deck overlooking mist-shrouded valleys. It was our reset. No classes, no prying eyes, just us and the wild. We hiked trails slick with April rain. His hand firm in mine, laughing as we slipped in mud, emerging caked and kissing under waterfalls. Nights were firelit confessions. His dreams of scriptwriting, my fears of fading into obscurity. Bodies entwined on a rug of woven wool, slow and sacred. You're my muse, I murmured one dawn, sketching him by window light, charcoal smudging his bare hip. He preened, flexing playfully, but his eyes held a shadow, fleeting but there. Back on campus, the high lingered. Picnics on the oval, his jersey over my shoulders at games. Ethan's thumbs up from afar, a growing normalcy. He'd apologized proper one beer-soaked night, bear hug and all. I was a dick, scared of losing my wingman to something real. We'd clinked bottles, the rift mending, though trust scarred like pulled stitches. But Joshua changed, subtle at first. A hesitation in his touch, eyes darting during walks. Just graduation stress, he'd say, waving it off with a kiss that tasted forced. I chalked it to senioritis, buried doubts in final projects. A graphic novel pitch, Shadows Unbound, starring a hero with Joshua's stormy eyes, fighting invisible chains. The unraveling started innocuous. A group dinner at Mama's kitchen, our favorite Italian hole-in-the-wall with checkered tables and garlic bread that could raise the dead. Ethan brought his new fling, a poli-sci major named Riley, all sharp wit and sharper heels. Joshua sat beside me, thigh pressed close, but his laughs rang hollow, gaze drifting to the door like he awaited rescue. You okay? I whispered, fork midway to my mouth. He squeezed my knee under the table. Yeah, just thinking. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Later, walking home arm in arm, street lamps pooling gold, he stopped under a budding oak. Sam, we need to talk. My blood iced. About us. He raked hair from his face, voice cracking. It's been everything. But after graduation, I'm going home. Nashville. Dad's business needs me. Garage manager gig. Solid pay. I blinked. Rain starting to spit. What? You said LA. Scripts. Us. I know. Guilt twisted his features. But family. It's complicated. And Ethan talked sense. Said long distance would kill us. Better to end clean. End. The word echoed, hollow. Ethan again? Or is this you chickening out? His jaw clenched. It's real life, Sam. Not some rom-com. Rage surged, hot and blinding. Real life? We've built this. Fought for it. Tears mixed with rain. Or was I just your college experiment? No. He grabbed my arms, desperate. I love you. But I can't. Can't what? Be seen? Be gay. The accusation landed like a slap. He flinched, releasing me. It's not that simple. Voice breaking, he backed away. I'm sorry. He walked into the night, leaving me shattered on the sidewalk, sobs racking as thunder rolled. Betrayal burned deeper than before. Not just rejection, but Ethan's fingerprints all over it, puppeteering from the shadows. Days dissolved into fog. I ghosted everyone. Skipped finals reviews. Ignored Ethan's texts. Dude, call me. Joshua's voicemails pleading talk. Please. The shop fired me for no-shows, my portfolio gathering dust. Nights, I'd replay it. His eyes in the cabin soft and sure. The lie of mine in the dark. Sketches turned vicious. Joshua as Icarus, wings melting, plummeting into abyss. Ethan cornered me at the apartment one humid afternoon. Key I'd forgotten to reclaim burning a hole. Sam, open up. I relented, face puffy from crying Jag 47. He barged in, concern morphing to guilt. Josh told me. About the talk. Of course he did. Bitterness dripped. You're doing. No. He sank onto the couch, head in hands. I advised caution, yeah. Long distance sucks, seen it tank buddies. But ending? That's on him. He's scared, man. Of labels, of dad finding out. Old wounds. Poor him. Sarcasm shielded the ache. What about me? Your brother. Bleeding out here. Ethan's eyes welled. First time I'd seen it. I fucked up before. Won't again. Let me help. Help? By meddling? I paced, voice rising. You threatened him once. Now you're his confessor. He stood, hands up. I love you both. Want you happy. But Josh, he's spiraling. Drinking heavy, dodging calls. Said he can't breathe without you. Sympathy warred with fury. But the wound gaped too wide. Too late. Graduation weekend dawned brutal. Sun mocking the storm inside. I walked the stage in a daze, diploma heavy as lead. Family cheering from stands. Mom dabbing tears, Dad's proud nod, Ethan clapping loudest. Joshua was there, distant row, eyes locked on me through the sea of caps. Post-ceremony, chaos of hugs and photos, he approached. Clean-shaven in a button-down, looking wrecked. Congrats, he said, voice rough. You deserve it. Save it. I turned, but he caught my wrist. Sam, please. 1 minute. Ethan hovered, then backed off with a nod. Your call. We slipped to the oval's edge, under a canopy of new leaves, the air thick with pollen and promise. I lied. Joshua started, eyes pleading. Not about love. About the fear. Dad's coming to town, big dinner. If he knew, it'd break him. Heart attack last year, you know? His voice trembled. But losing you? That's breaking me now. Then fight. Simple, fierce. For us. He crushed me in a hug, sobs muffled in my shoulder. I will. Promise. Nashville's the stall, I'll tell him. After. Then LA with you. We kissed there, public and raw. Cheers from passers-by, a bomb. Hope reignited. Fragile but fierce. Summer stretched. Repair work, tentative dates, his hand in mine at indie flicks, my head on his chest during thunderstorms. Ethan mediated, awkward bro talks turning to allyship. If he hurts you again, I'll kick his ass myself. But cracks spiderwebbed. Joshua's silences lengthened. Excuses thinning. Dad calls non-stop. One July night, post-barbecue at home, he vanished. Phone dead. No trace. Panic clawed. I drove circuits, calling Ethan, who swore haven't seen him. Dawn brought him home, reeking of bourbon, eyes haunted. Where? I demanded, heart fracturing. Drove. Cleared my head. Evasive. Crumbling. Bullshit. I grabbed his phone. Unlocked. A text thread glaring. Miss you tonight. Come over? M for Megan? The tattoo artist from last summer? Rage imploded. Who the fuck is M? He deflated. No one. Old flame. Drunk text. Ignored it. Liar. Evidence mounted, deleted messages. Cologne on his collar, not mine. You're fucking around. Sam. Out. I shoved him toward the door, tears scalding. We're done. He begged on knees. It's you. Always. But trust was ash, and I barred the door, collapsing in sobs as his truck peeled away. Ethan arrived at noon, face grim. He confessed. One night. Stupid. Lonely. Megan reached out, he caved. Punch to the gut. But Ethan's arm around me steadied. His regrets real. But you deserve better. Nights blurred into therapy. Campus counselor unpacking betrayal's layers. Sketches purging poison. Joshua's pleas piled. Flowers, notes, a mixtape of our songs. I resisted, rebuilding solo job at a gallery downtown, portfolio submissions to NYC houses. Climax crashed Labor Day. Ethan's engagement party. Black tie at the country club. Our fractured trio forced together. Joshua cornered me by the bar. Tux rumpled. Eyes desperate. One dance. Then I'll go. Against judgment, I nodded. On the floor, waltzing to some crooner, his whisper broke. I fucked up. Irreparable. But I love you, ruined or not. Tears pricked. Love isn't enough. Trust is gone. He nodded, releasing. Then goodbye. Kiss to my knuckles, final. As he walked away, Ethan approached, Riley on arm. You okay? Healing, maybe. Yeah. Starting to be. Fall semester post-graduation carved me anew. Columbus a chrysalis, shedding Ohio skin for broader skies. I sublet a studio downtown, walls papered in rejection letters turned affirmations. Strong voice. Keep pushing. The gallery gig evolved to assistant curator, scouting local talent, my own work gaining traction. A Shadows Unbound excerpt in a zine, whispers of publisher interest. Nights, I ran the Scioto trails, breath sinking with river lap, purging Joshua's ghost with each stride. Therapy unpacked the rubble. Betrayal not definition, love not ownership. Ethan checked in weekly, dinners at Mom's, his wedding plans a buffer, Riley's dry humor a spark. You're glowing, bro, he'd say, and damn if he wasn't right. Joshua faded to echoes. A spotted profile pic, Nashville geotag, vague posts of sunsets and scripts in progress. Mutuals gossiped, he's a mess, asking about you. I blocked the noise, dated casually. A barista with inked arms, a poet whose verses tangled like vines. Sparks, but no inferno. Healing wasn't linear. Some nights, wine loosened, I'd scroll old photos, ache blooming fresh. But dawn always came, coffee strong, sketchpad open to new horizons. Thanksgiving brought reckoning. Home for turkey and tension, Mom's table groaning under cranberry and pie, Dad's stories of shop fixes a steady hum. Ethan announced the wedding June, lakeside vows, and Joshua was invited. Family, Ethan insisted. I nodded, stealing. He arrived eve of, suitcase in hand, knocking soft on my old door. I opened, time folding. Him leaner, shadows under eyes, that crooked smile tentative. Hey! Hey! Neutral ground. Can we? Gesture to the porch swing, creaky under star-pricked sky. We sat, Silence thick as fog off the river. Fireflies danced, mocking memories. "Congrats on the book deal," he started, voice low. Heard through Ethan. "Proud." "Thanks." Throat tight. "Nashville treating you?" He shrugged. "Dad's stable. Garage hums. Writing when I can." Pause. Heavy. "Missed this. Every damn day." Air stilled. "You broke us." "I know." Hands clasped, knuckles white. Caved to fear. Megan was. Escape. From guilt. From wanting you so bad it terrified me. Eyes met mine, raw. Therapy's helping. Labels? They're mine to own. Gay. Bi. Whatever. It's you I want. Heart stuttered, old wounds pulsing. Want isn't fix. No. He leaned closer, not touching. But growth is. I've changed. If you'll let me prove it. I searched his face, vulnerability etched deep, no masks. One coffee, neutral turf. No promises. His grin bloomed, soft. Deal. Winter thawed slow. Coffee turning lunches. Walks in snow-dusted parks. Hands brushing accidental then intentional. He shared journals. Pages of regret. Odes to my laugh. Blueprints for amends. I tested boundaries, introducing him to dates as friend, watching jealousy flicker then fade. Therapy tandem. Joint sessions unpacking betrayal's blueprint. Rebuilding on honesty. I see you now, he vowed, fingers laced post-session. All of you. Spring unfurled tentative. His script placement in a festival, my graphic novel greenlit for print. Ethan's wedding loomed, and we attended together. Me in slim navy suit, him in charcoal, arm linked bold through the aisle. Vows exchanged lakeside, petals scattering on breeze. And as Ethan kissed Riley, Joshua's hand found mine, steady. Reception under tense aglow, we danced, slow sway to at last, his cheek to mine. This you, I whispered. All in, he murmured, kiss sealing. But humanism's lesson. Love as mirror, reflecting growth. Not fairy tale, but earned. We relocated tandem. Me to Brooklyn artists' lofts. Him LA chasing reels. Weekends bridging coasts, calls bridging gaps. Fights flared. Distances bite. Old insecurities, but words, not walls. He came out to Dad over FaceTime, voice steady. Love a man, Sammy. Hope you can too. Tears, then hugs virtual. Family expanded, not fractured. Years layered. My novel launches to acclaim. Panels where I credit the one who broke and remade me. His pilot sells, indie buzz, cameos in my life. Red carpets hand in hand. Quiet nights scripting by my side. Pencil tracing his temple. Ethan fathers twins. Godparents us. Mom's pride beams at pride parades. Rainbow pins on her lapel. 1 anniversary. 5 years. Central Park blanket picnic. Skyline jagged. Joshua kneels. Ring glinting. Silver band. Etched unbound. Marry me? Not perfect. But yours. Tears blur. Yes. Kiss salt sweet. Fireflies winking approval. Life's not climax's blaze, but dawn's quiet light. Human. Flawed. Enduring. Joshua in tight shorts still undoes me. But now it's laughter shared. Memory reclaimed. In America's sprawl, from Ohio fields to city pulse, we write our story. Not tragedies fall, but redemptions rise. Love, after all, is the hook that pulls you through.